They're obviously fighting against Hezbollah because Hezbollah is supporting Hamas, and it's supporting Hamas by firing rockets and some missiles into northern Israel. And the end result is somewhere between 60 and 70,000 Israelis have had to flee the northern part of Israel and move temporarily into the center. And the Netanyahu government, unsurprisingly, is deeply committed to getting those people back to their homes in the north. So it wants to stop Hezbollah from firing missiles into northern Israel. Hezbollah says the only circumstance under which we'll stop firing those missiles is if you stop the war or the genocide in Gaza. And the Israelis, of course, refuse to do that because they're bent on ethnically cleansing Gaza. So the end result is the Israelis have to figure out another way to deal with Hezbollah. And the first strategy they employed was decapitation. And of course, they killed Nasrallah and a number of other high-ranking Hezbollah officials. And that had no real effect. Then they decided they were going to start pummeling the cities and towns in southern Lebanon and Beirut as well, and kill lots of people. And this punishment campaign would hopefully get Hezbollah to throw up its hands and quit. That hasn't worked either. So they've then pursued a third strategy, which is to invade southern Lebanon with ground forces, which is what they have been doing for the past few weeks. This isn't working either. And if you read the Israeli press every day, you see that Hezbollah is continuing to fire, 135, 140, 150 rockets into Israel every day. So they're not solving the problem. And I would add to that, they're not solving the problem in Gaza, and they're not going to solve their problem with Iran by using military force. So all this is to say that the Israelis are in deep trouble, and because we're joined at the hip with the Israelis, we're in deep trouble too.
You say deep trouble. Let's spell that out, what it means, what deep trouble means for Israel and what deep trouble means for us.
Well, just let's talk about the Israelis to start with. Israel has always emphasized that the last thing it wants to do is fight a protracted war, a war of attrition. And what it wants to fight instead are quick wars that last 6 days, like the famous Six-Day War in 1967. Furthermore, the Israelis have long emphasized that they want to be capable of fighting those wars all by themselves. They don't want to have to depend on another country. Well, if you look at what's happening today, they are involved, in my opinion, in 3 separate wars that show no signs of ending, that have been going on for at least a year. And this means that the Israelis are in real trouble because they can't win this set of wars quickly and decisively. Furthermore, it's very clear, if you look at how the conflict is being waged, that the Israelis are highly dependent on the Americans. They're not only dependent on the American industrial base for weaponry, they're also dependent on American military forces to help them fight their enemies. You want to remember that on April 14th, when Iran attacked Israel, that the United States played a key role in helping Israel defend itself against Iran's missiles and drones. And we are expecting any day now another attack by Israel against Iran, and then Iran is expected to retaliate. Well, if Iran retaliates, we now have more forces than ever in Israel to help Israel defend itself. Why? Because Israel itself cannot fight off the Iranian missile attack.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند